Hello biology lovers, welcome to Cell to System. In the previous class, we have discussed about the formation of endosperm and embryo. In today's session, we will be knowing how the fruit and seed formation occur in case of angiosperms. So, without wasting any time, let's begin. The formation process of seed occurs differently in case of monocots and dicots. In case of angiosperms, the ovule turns into seed after fertilization. Now, in case of monocots, the seeds have different structures. Let me draw a seed of a monocot. As you can see, this is a monocot seed. This is a grain of maize. Now, here it has an external seed coat and this is the endosperm. This part, it is the endosperm. Endosperm is the nourishing tissue present in the seed. Now, this part, it is the cotyledon of monocot seed. They have a single cotyledon and this cotyledon is known as scutellum. These two things, they are plumule, that is it will grow into the shoot system, and this one is the radicle, it will grow into the root system. Now they have a separate protective layer. The plumule is protected by coleoptile and the radicle is protected by coleorhiza. So remember, plumule is protected by coleoptile and radicle is protected by coleorhiza. This is the structure of a monocot seed. The seed coat is the external covering of the seed which is present in both monocot and dicot seeds. Now, hope you can understand the structure of a monocot seed. Now, let's understand the structure of a dicot seed. You can see the structure of a dicot seed. Externally, it looks like a externally the dicot seed looks like this. This is a bean seed, or you can see hilum is the part of the ovule, as you can remember, and the micropyle is the pore in the ovule. So from this micropyle, the seed absorbs water and it germinates to form a new plant. If we cut the seed from the middle, and it looks like that. So externally it has a protective covering known as seed coat. Next, cotyledons. It has two cotyledons, that's why the name dicot. Now, this tiny plant, as you can see, this forms the root shoot system. This part forms the shoot system known as plumule, and this one is radicle known as it forms the root system. Now, after knowing about both monocot and dicot seeds, we have come to the part that is formation of fruit. The ovary, it is responsible for the formation of fruit. When the ovary, it develops and differentiates, and formation of zygote. It is one function of ovary, but the another part of ovary is formation of fruit. Now, this ovary, the ovary wall develops and it forms the fruit wall. Or in one word, fruit wall is known as pericarp. This pericarp has three parts: exocarp, mesocarp, and endocarp. The exocarp is most external and endocarp is internal. Now let's understand the structure of a fruit. This is the structure of a fruit. You can see this is the exocarp or the external part which is not edible. Now the mesocarp, it is edible part, and the endocarp which protects the seed. This is the structure of a fruit. This is very simple. Most of the fruits they develop from the ovary, they show the similar structure. In case of angiosperms, some special modes of reproduction can also be seen. Mainly, three types of such reproduction is seen in angiosperms. These are apomixis, parthenocarpy, and polyembryony. Apomixis is basically the formation of seeds without fertilization. The two scientists, one is Maheshwari and another one is Winkler, differentiated apomixis into different types. According to Maheshwari, apomixis is of three types. One is recurrent apomixis, another one is non-recurrent apomixis, and the third one is adventive embryony. So, in case of recurrent apomixis, the diploid egg cell forms the embryo. So, why the name recurrent? Because the embryo is viable. Citrus and the rosa plants show this kind of apomixis. Next is non-recurrent apomixis, the haploid egg cell. So, the egg is naturally haploid, but in case of recurrent, there is no meiosis. That's why the egg is diploid. But in case of non-recurrent apomixis, the haploid egg cell forms the embryo, and the embryo is not viable. In some cases, in Datura mainly, the embryo die very early stage. Next is adventive embryony. Adventive embryony is also known as sporophytic apomixis. So, the embryo formation occur in case of adventive embryony from the sporophytic cell, that is from the nucellus or the integuments, and it is seen in mango, our very known fruit, that is Mangifera indica plant. So these two, they are basically the gametophytic apomixis, and it is adventive embryony is the sporophytic apomixis. Now coming to this part, the Winkler has differentiated the same types of apomixis into some other names: agamospermy, parthenogenesis, and apogamy. In some books, some other names are also written, so it is more or less same in definition. So, in case of agamospermy, the embryo can any part from egg, from synergids, from the nucellus or the integuments. It is seen in citrus plant. The parthenogenesis is the formation of embryo from the female gametophyte, that is Artemisia shows parthenogenesis type of apomixis, and apogamy is the formation of embryo from either synergids or from the antipodal cells, but here never the egg is involved in the formation of embryo. So in allium, that is in onion, and in trifolium, this type of apomixis is seen. Now coming to the next part, that is parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy is again of three types: the genetical parthenocarpy or the genetic parthenocarpy, the natural parthenocarpy, and chemically induced parthenocarpy. Now, this genetic parthenocarpy is due to some specific parthenocarpic genes present in the organism, or the plant, or due to some mutagens which will induce the parthenocarpy. So now the question is really arising in your mind that what is parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy is the formation of seedless fruit. That means there is no seed in the fruit. You may have eaten many fruits which doesn't have any seed. For example, banana, for example, grapes. So, in case of genetic parthenocarpy, it is seen in banana, or it is also seen in tomato and fig. Now, natural parthenocarpy, the natural parthenocarpy is the naturally occurring in nature, and it doesn't have any effect of other genes or other mutagens, and it is seen in pineapples and grapes. Now, chemically induced parthenocarpy, for a very simple purpose, that is cultivation, commercial cultivation of fruits. Nowadays the seedless fruits are in very high demands, so that the brinjal and cucumber, these are producing in very large amount, in very bulk amount, to chemically induce parthenocarpic process. So this is done with the help of some PGRs, plant growth regulators, mainly auxins, gibberellin and cytokinins. So these are the types of parthenocarpy. Now coming to the next part, polyembryony. Polyembryony is the special phenomenon in which more than one embryo is formed from a single fertilized egg. It was discovered or observed by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek in the citrus plant. Now there are three main types of polyembryony: simple polyembryony, cleavage polyembryony and adventive polyembryony. The simple polyembryony is the formation of embryos from more than one fertilization of egg. More than one formation of egg and fertilization. It is very simple. It is seen in Brassica, Poa and Casuarina plants. Now, cleavage polyembryony, that means as the name implies, there must be a cleavage occurring. So, the pro-embryo, we have already discussed about pro-embryos. The pro-embryo, it undergoes further splitting and forms two or more embryos. It is seen in Nicotiana and Nymphia plant. Now, adventive polyembryony, adventive means additional. Formation of additional embryos other than the embryo from the egg, there is some additional embryo formation from either synergids, integuments, nucellus or antipodal cells. Now, this is adventive polyembryony and this is seen in Opuntia plant and citrus plant. So, this is all about the special modes of reproduction in flowering plants. Now, the chapter, that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants, is over. We have done all the parts as we have planned in the first class of cell to system. Now this is all about the pre-fertilization, fertilization, post-fertilization and special modes of fertilization in angiosperms. Now from the next part we will be discussing about the sexual reproduction in humans, which is another most important and must know topic for either you are preparing for the NEET or any other competitive exam or board exam. Now you have to do the subscription to my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to continuously study with me. Thank you so much.